Shalom, everybody. This is Haftarah Vayyeitzei, Hosea 11 through 14. See how far we can get. This is how you draw on the screen or raise your hand. Who would like to read first?
I'll go if
Ashlyn.
nobody else is
No,
going
no, no,
to.
Ashlyn. Turn your mic on. Go
What
ahead.
did she say? Oh, good.
Okay. Ve'ami teluim lim shuvati ve'el al um, yichra'uhu v'chad lo yeromem.
Excellent. Okay, so some of these words are pretty easy, and some of them maybe we don't know what they mean right off. Fortunately, we have the interlinear. Ami and my people, tluim. Uh, you can see that it says that it means bent. Talui.
Hanging.
No, that's tav lamed yod, whereas this is tav lamed aleph. I don't know that it's necessarily related. It could be a separate. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But this root we're looking at is tav lamed aleph, and it does appear to be a. I should ask you, what form?
It's Qatar.
It's an adjective. It has the
Oh,
im
different.
on the end. What kind of an adjective is it?
Passive participle.
Very good. It's a passive participle. So think of words like, sagur, sigurin, or patuach, patuchim. So this is tiluim. So there's your first, second, and third root letter. As opposed to, like you said earlier, Cheryl, tav lamed yod has to do with hanging, talui.
Mhm.
Suppose somebody says, "Hey, do you want to do this or do you want to do that?" In Hebrew, if I want to say, "Well, it depends," you actually say, "Well, it hangs on. It's talui. It is hung. Well, dependent on what? Hung on what?" And you go, "Oh, because of this." Um, so the ami tluim says, "My people are ben." Okay. Limshuvati. What's the root?
Shuf.
Shuv.
hmm
So,
The lamed is the prefix. What's the suffix?
T.
T.
Is it T or
T.
E?
T.
Tap
I
and Yod.
think I think that the suffix is E. Something
Oh, yeah.
maybe mine. I don't see the mine like belonging to me in the translation, but if this is meshuva, then that could be a feminine noun. Usually when you have a mem at the front and a hey at the end, it's a location. So like uh, they are bent on my turning around, my repentance. I don't know. But
Um,
yes, question or comment. How does
isn't
yeah,
it a
how does
moshav? Isn't it a place to dwell?
a
That's
moshav is a different word. It comes with a vav at the front after the mem. So
oh, returning,
right. So
returning.
in the word moshav,
Hmm.
this is for everyone, not just you, but in the word moshav, the root letters were originally one, two, three, which we know better as yashav, to sit or dwell.
Hmm.
Whereas here we're looking at shin vav bet, same
Returning.
letters, different root, has to do with returning. Um, I wish I would have prepared a little bit and looked. Well, you know what? Why not? Let's go to a Bible app and see what it can tell us about this word. We're in Hosea 11:7. Clear screen. Maybe turn on the Hebrew since that's kind of important, and see what information we can get from here. Shuvat. Okay, so it is Meshuva, and if I can get a good dictionary over here, we can see maybe a translation for it. A turning away, a turning back, apostasy, backsliding. It's used 12 times in the Bible. So it's the again, whenever there's a mem at the front and a hey at the end, I think location. So it's the place where someone is turning back. Now, here it appears to be in like a negative connotation, backsliding, or the state of apostasy, because because it's a noun. I'm thinking more, what noun could best translate this rather than an action per se. So turning away, turning back, I can see that, but apostasy, that's a noun. Backsliding, that's a noun. I guess if you think of turning as being a participle, that could, or a gerund, that could also be a noun being, adjective being used substantively, but I digress. Okay,
Can you
so,
tell us what gerund means, Jared?
uh,
Remind me.
okay, so a gerund is an English grammatical term and it refers to ing words.
Uh,
Um,
Oh.
it's if I'm not mistaken, obviously my forte is not English grammar, but if I'm not mistaken, there's a certain amount of overlap between a gerund and an active participle. It might just be two different words for the same thing, but it's specifically English. It's not the word gerund is, to my knowledge, not used in Hebrew grammar.
thanks.
Um, okay, so now we can get back to here. There we go. And so what then does this mean? Ami tluim lim shuvati. If there's a hirik yod on the end, is that talking about my people are bent on my backsliding? My apostasy? What does that even mean? Why is there a hirik yod on the end? Eh, I don't
I
know.
think it means, I think it more means on the returning to me, like they're not bent on doing it. Like
Oh, like they're stuck on.
my translation says wavering on returning to me. That's the
Let's look
what
at
I'm
some
getting
others.
here.
Bent on turning from me. ESV. Bent on turning away from me. They are
Oh,
like set on turning away from me.
yeah,
JPS.
it's set on turning
They
away
are in
from me.
suspense about returning to me. What else do we have? NET. My people are obsessed with turning away from. Yeah, maybe that's a good way to put it. NIV. Determined. What's that? New Jerusalem Bible? I don't know. New
Hmm.
JPS. My people persists in its defection from me. That's one way to put it. Okay. I think we're starting to get the picture. So
Yeah,
why didn't we look at the word tala and how often it's used in the Bible? There's a question about it earlier. That's why, because it's used 3 times in the whole Bible.
no wonder.
Okay, so look, it appears that it's related to the Tav Lamed Yod in the sense of hanging or clinging.
Hmm.
Um, hmm. Okay, fair. So maybe it is related to the Tav Lamed Yod. I can think of plenty of places where Yod turns into Aleph, whether you're going from Hebrew to Aramaic or whether you're going from one part of speech to another. And so, I mean, there's always that. Uh, okay,
They're the to hesitate or to be in doubt. It was in there like
okay,
they won't make up their mind about coming back to the Lord. That's the feeling I got from it in my translation.
okay. And the El Al, so here it's using Al as as a noun, the one who is above, right? Al is a preposition, right? But if it's talking about the Elyon, the highest one, the El Al Yikra'uhu. They call, okay, there's a pronominal suffix on here, so we can peel that away. That means we are left with a yiktal verb. Um, what gender number is Yikra? Person, gender, number.
Premeditatum.
Word masculine.
Yes.
So it's referring back to,
It's a
Yeah,
yikra.
People,
it is
my
a
people.
yiktal.
my
Very
people.
good. So remember that the word people is a singular collective.
Mhm.
So it is singular, even though we think of people as being a plural. Singular person, multiple people. Well, not really. A people is singular. So here it's 3ms.
And yet they said Tluim.
Oh, fair. Yikra'u. Okay, see, that's what I'm overlooking, isn't it? So that means I was wrong. We were all wrong. The who is the suffix, and the
The
ye'u makes it 3MP.
3MP.
Ah, okay. So erase all that. He's treating this as a plural. They call him, what are they called? Yachad, altogether, lo yiromem.
It's still a yiktol,
It's
right?
still a yiktol, but now it's a 3MP instead of a 3MS.
Mhm.
If it were,
Ooh.
here's for bonus points. How can we turn this 3MP yiktol with the pronominal suffix into a 3MS? Go.
I don't understand why it's a 3MP
Only because
because
of the
the
oo.
who is a suffix, right?
It is, it is, it is. The only thing,
Oh,
it's
because
the
of
oo
the
under the
ooh.
aleph. Yeah. And
Okay.
and to be perfectly clear, it was the tradition of the Masoretes that added the oo under here. That oo did not exist before the Middle Ages in writing. It was only part of the Masorah, the tradition. So if we were to modify this text, God forbid, modify the nikud that were added in the Middle Ages, and we change that oo into an a, yikra'ehu, then all of a sudden it would be a 3ms, and that would agree with the 3ms of people. Whatever. Anywho, the the subject is apparently still my people, and either he, it, or they call him. Who's the him? God. Yachad lo yiromem. Altogether, he, right, 3ms, does not, my people. See, there's another reason to think that it's supposed to be 3ms, because this one is a 3ms. My people, he, it, does not yiromem. Uh-oh. Yiromem. What kind of a word is this? Yod at the front. So yiktol. Root. Binyan. Anyone?
So PL, I think.
Fair. A PL
Or a
or
pool because of
Yerome.
the
Well,
ro-
Anatoly, you have an answer?
no, I thought power. It's
Okay.
kind of, but
All right. All right. So this word does not perfectly fit PL or Pu'al directly, right?
The plural.
Very good. So it is a special form of PL called polel,
well,
or if it's the passive form, it becomes polal. It is this binyan, but it only shows up in two cases. Under what two conditions do we get this form of PL and pual versus that one?
When the last two of the root are the same.
Nearly. If it's either hollow or geminate.
oh,
If it's hollow or geminate. Okay,
and it's
geminate.
both.
Well, careful. What's the root?
It's not. Oh, resh mem mem.
Are you familiar?
I'm
Are you familiar with a resh mem mem root?
No.
Are you familiar with a hollow root?
Yeah, room.
Room. Does it have to do with being high or lifted up? So your
Oh.
root is rum. However, you are correct that a geminate, such as if this root actually exists. You know what? Let's go ahead and change it to a root that does exist. Instead of resh mem mem, let's go with sheen mem mem. That one exists. What would sheen mem mem look like in PL? The same. Yeshomem. Okay, so whether it's geminate or whether it's hollow, and that does include hollow roots that have like a yod instead of a vav, the point is, if it's hollow or geminate, it will show up as a polel or a polal for active and passive PL and pual. It doesn't fit into the standard PL pual paradigm. It shifts. Why does it do this? Is there any other Semitic language that does this too? No. Hebrew's the only one. Yay, go Hebrew. Okay, so this is a very special form of PL and Pu'al. That's my point. Questions? So essentially, we're looking at the root rum. It is a PL, also known as polel, and it is 3ms yiktol. So he or it will be exalted. Oh, you guys know how much I love state of being verbs. Whenever you have a state of being verb, like male, what's male?
Like full.
Full.
It's the kal form, it's the kal verb that means to be full. As soon as you put it into the PL intensive, mile, now what does it mean? To fill. It's now
To
no longer
fill.
it's no longer a state of being. Look, the glass is being full. It's now an action verb with an object, a direct object of or an object of some kind. And now you're doing the action of making it be that state of being verb. Okay? And that is called factative. So if this one up here is called stative, state of being verb, the PL makes it factative. I think I spelled it right. If not, don't, whatever. Factative, actative, whatever. It turns something into that state of being true. So the glass is empty. Joe Blow comes over and fills it up. He just did the action of mile. He filled up the glass. Now the glass is male. Kal stative. Okay. Then does polel then do the same thing? Sure, why not? Rum is talking about something being high up. Right? That's your kal stative. Well, I don't know that it's necessarily I don't know if I can call it a state of being verb. I'm it I guess it could it be? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a chance that it could be a state of verb, but when it shows up in the polel, now you are making something be high up. So it still feels factative to exalt. Yeromem. Yeah. By the way, since we're on the topic of polel and polal, if what I'm looking at here with the yeromem is the yiktol form, what does the katal form look like? This is going to be rich. Well, you just take off the yiktol prefix.
Ramam.
Romem.
Ramam.
Hey, wait a second. What does this look like? It looks exactly like a kal participle. Like shomer. Doesn't it? Romem, shomer. Same vowel pattern, right? The only difference is that the shomer is usually going to be spelled defectively without a vav. I mean, it could be there, but if it's spelled well, I guess either one could be spelled defectively. The difference here is that these two are going to be the same letter, right? If they're the same letter, you should think, this is possibly a katal form of a geminate root, and we're going to call it polel binyan, 3ms. Now, how do you say I did this action? Instead of a 3ms, turn it into a 1cs. Then what?
Romemi.
Well, you need a T.
Romamti.
Right, you need a T at the end. So we'll turn this into a medial form. You add the T to the end. And then this right here changes, just like it does in he feel, it turns into a patach. Romamti. Romamti. Romamti, romamta, romamt, romamnu, romamtem, romamten. So this is how the polel binyan works. Now, hang tight. turn this into a passive polal. If romamti is active tense, I am doing the action, what is the passive? It is done to me. I'm afraid it is identical. In almost all of the forms, except for 3ms, I think they're all identical. So you have to use context to know whether this is passive or active. Here, it's 3ms. We get the tsere, so we can be certain that this is active voice, polel. So he is the subject doing the action of exalting. Okay, comments or questions?
Oof.
Oof.
Question.
Ooh, question.
Um, you said the polel is the passive, but what's the
Polel is the active, and
active?
polal is the passive. And the downside is that almost all of the conjugations look identical. So the only way you can tell the difference between these two, if you want to try to disambiguate them, is from the context. Is there a direct object? Well, then it has to be active. Does the context demand that someone is the subject? Then it's active. That's really kind of a big fat bummer trying to figure out whether these polals and polels, whether they're active or passive. But fortunately, they really don't show up a whole lot in the Bible. So don't stress about it.
Why does it have two mems?
Well, I guess it has two mems because okay, this is speculation. I don't know the answer. But because geminate roots show up in this particular fancy pattern, I assume it's because the geminate roots are the ones that started this extra binyan, or if you want to call it specialty version of PL and Pu'al. And geminates, by definition, have a repeated second and third root letter, right? Second and third root letter are the same, like shomam, sovev, halal, all of those have the second and third root letters the same. So then the question becomes, how did we go from a polel polal with geminates now including the hollow roots too? I don't know. I have no idea. All I can say is kacha ze bivri. That's just the way it is in Hebrew. I can't tell you why.
You just have to know it.
Yeah, you have to know the root. Yeah. Like we did earlier. I said, does
Is that
anybody
the
know
same word for would exalt?
it? Yeromem, yeah. He will
Oh,
exalt.
okay.
He will exalt means he is Yeromem. Yeromem.
And because I would have thought it would have had a dash in it to have that two mems.
Right? But see, that's the oddity about the polel polal is that polel and polal don't have a dagesh.
Oh,
It's very confusing. Why? How did this happen? I'm sorry, nobody has a good reason for it. Trust me, I've studied, I've read papers on what the experts think happened in order to create this, and it's all a bunch of speculation. Nobody knows. It only shows up in Hebrew.
huh.
So how would you say Yeromem, could that not mean Yikto 3ms
It is.
with mem as a suffix, pronominal suffix?
I see what you did
Yeromem,
there.
like them.
I see what
Can
you
that,
did. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just
If we did,
speculating.
yeah, sure. Let's run with it. Let's assume that this M is a pronominal suffix. Is that possible? First and foremost, is it possible to have an M pronominal suffix? The answer is yes.
Usually it's isn't it?
No.
Yeromem?
In the
No?
katal, on a katal verb, it becomes or on a noun, it becomes unless there's a yod at the end of the root, then it becomes M. But in Yiktol, it's M. So there's a
Okay.
theme vowel difference between katal, which generally takes an ah sound before a pronominal suffix, and tsere, which typically shows up on Yiktol verbs before the suffix. Okay, it's a theme vowel. It's one of the ways you can differentiate between katal and yiktol. And so if he guarded them, it would be shmaram. But if he will guard them, it becomes yishmeram. Well, I guess it would be yishmerem.
Rem, yeah.
Yishmerem. And here it would just drop down to a shva. Okay, so that's the difference between yiktol and katal. And this would drop to shva also. Shmaram. Yes, there we go. Shmaram versus yishmerem. Okay, so if this is a viable option for a katal suffix, yiktol pronominal suffix, then it would be a 3MP. And what are we left with? We're left with yirom. Now, because we have a shva under the yod, but the
Yeah.
stress is all the way at the end of the word, it means we could speculate that this was a kamatz that got shortened down. Okay, will we ever have a verb that looks like this? Yarom. Is this a viable yiktol pattern? The answer is a trick question, but it's a little tricky, but the answer is no. Well, what about the verb yavo? Doesn't that have the same pattern, Jared? No, I'm afraid it doesn't. This should have been yavu, but the aleph said, nah, I really prefer the O vowel. It's because of the aleph that this changes to an O. It's not that it's a viable pattern. So can we have an O vowel here with a mem following? No. Can we ever have an O vowel in a yiktol like this if it's a hollow root? Oh, sure, absolutely. Think of this word here. Does anybody know how? I'm not going to put the vowels yet. Does anybody know how to pronounce this?
Yevosh, Yevosh.
Very good.
Yevosh.
Yevosh. It has an O vowel, so it's allowed. Well, look at that first vowel. Yevosh. What we're looking at here is the same pattern as a state of being verb. Um, Hang on a second. Yeah, come on. Yevosh, yevosh, yevosh. Okay. So this is a yiktol pattern, EO, yiktol, but it is a state of being verb. Bosh, yevosh.
Mm.
So that means it must have had an original. Now I got it. So it would have been an EA pattern. Yiktal, yiktal stative. Yiktal state of being, which because of the vav would have made it, here, let me write it over here. Yiv wash would have made it something like this. Yivwash, yivwash. So this compound vowel here is the one that's simplified down and turns into yevosh. There we go. That makes sense. Okay. And because it steals the bet, now this has to turn into a long vowel. That's where you get the ye from. Okay, so it is a yiktol stative. Okay, so the point is, yes, it does have a cholam vav in it, but you also have a sere under the front because it's a state of being verb. Anyway, so is it at all conceivable to have a ya o pattern? I'm still going to stick with no, even though we do have some oddities like yavo or yevosh. By the way, what is yevosh or bosh or busha?
Shame.
Shame. Yeah, exactly. And so just to let you know, I shouldn't say it that way. Let me put it this way. What is the katal form of yevosh? If yevosh means he will be ashamed, how do you say he was ashamed?
Bosh.
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 Bosh, yes. Here, I'm getting a little crowded here, so let me clear screen. So bosh is
Like bo.
hang on, it's the katol stative pattern. Think of katol. Any other verbs that you know that have the katol pattern? How about yachol? Boy, you see what I just did there, right?
Yeah, well.
Look at that. Remember how I said I can't think of any yiktol that has a okay, fair. It's not a yiktol, but yachol is a katal stative. So Oh, this is an excellent teaching moment. So back to the original question. Is there any way that we could have yarom? Yes, we could have a katal verb, katal stative of the root yod, resh, mem, right? Because then it would be like this one, yachol, yarom. So what's the problem? We have a tsere, so that means it has to be yiktol, so that can't be the first root letter. Okay, I digress. So are there any other yaktol, state of being verbs? Yachol, katon. What is katon?
Small.
He will be.
Tiny.
He was small. He was insignificant. What is yachol?
Able.
He was able. Remember, it's a state of being verb. And what is, do you know this one? Yagor.
To sojourn.
No, no, no. This is the root yod gimel resh. It's a state of being verb.
To live. To
Mm.
abide.
No, it's not. See, the thing about ger and gur is that it is gimel vav resh. That's not what this is. This is yod gimel resh. I
Oh,
think
Yagor.
I think it's like to tremble or to be
Yeah, Magor.
trepidatious or fear.
Magor is
Oh, what is magor?
uh, something frightening, something terrifying.
You sure?
I think
Should it
it's
be? It should be either megor or no ma. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, yod gimel resh has to do with trembling, like to be trepidatious.
okay.
So I'll just put be afraid, maybe. But it is a state of being verb. And in that same camp is bet, vav, shin, which should have been, here, take this pattern and put it onto those consonants. What should it have been? Ba,
Able.
ba, whoosh. It should have been, if it has the same pattern as all of these, it should have been ba whoosh. But what does Hebrew do with that that complex vowel?
Bosh.
It simplifies it down, and that's where we get bosh from. It should have been ba whoosh, but it becomes bosh.
And then
Hmm.
just a reminder, when the yod becoming katal, it takes the hard dagesh, but the hard dagesh is removed because the stress moves to the end of the word when we create yiktol. Is that what happened?
Please help me understand your question. Currently, all of the ones that I've written, the four that I've written on here, are a state of being O theme vowel katal. So these are all
so
3ms katal.
in yabosh,
If we turn them into yiktol, that's a great exercise. Let's do it. Instead of he was able, how do we turn it into he will be able?
Yuchal.
Good. Yuchal. So this is a yiktal pattern. It is a yiktal pattern, but the vav got in the way. So instead of yuchal, it just turns into yuchal, right? Right? Instead of here, yuchal. Sorry, that's hard. We're going to simplify it. Okay. What about he will be small or insignificant? How do we turn that into a yiktol? He will be small. I don't even.
Ton.
Very good. Yiktan. Yiktan. It turns into it has the yiktal pattern. So yiktan. Very good. How do we turn yagor into future tense? To be honest, I don't know. I don't know if this was an no. I don't know if this was an original vav. I don't even think that the verb yagul shows up that much in the Bible. Much less, I don't know if it shows up in the yiktol. I would have to double check. But theoretically, if it was a vav, then it would probably follow the same pattern as this and become yugar. And if it didn't have an original vav, if it was original yod, then I guess it would be yigav. I don't know. We'll have to look.
That Magor Misaviv is the phrase that I was thinking of. I think it means terror all around. Terror. Like that would go with like be afraid.
Okay.
Magor, terror. Yeah.
And then the last one we've already looked at, Bosh in the Yiktol should have been Yiv Wash, which becomes Yevosh. Yevosh. He will be ashamed. So these are all the Yiktols here, and those are all the Katals over there. So a very, very small category of stative verbs, but it's, I guess I'm dwelling on the minors and I just need to move on. I find it nerdy and interesting. Well, now that we've gotten past the first verse, who would like to read the second one? Anatoly, you have your
45
hand up.
minutes
Go
later.
ahead. Oh my gosh. Anatoly, please read.
איך אתנך אפרים המגנך ישראל איך אתנך כיד מה השמחה כצבעים נחפך
Very good.
עלי ליבי יחד נחמרו ניחומי.
Nichumai. Yeah, Nichumai. Very good. Ech etencha Ephraim. Okay. So now we're speaking to Ephraim. What's the root of Ephraim's name?
Fruit.
Probably Pri.
Pay Resh.
It makes okay. So the question becomes, where does the Aleph appear from? It could be one of those kind of a prefix letter. There are plenty of words where we get an extra Aleph on the front, like etmol. The original word was tmol, but we add an Aleph, it becomes etmol. Perhaps that's what's happening here. If so, then we have the root peresh yod. Another way we know that it's peresh yod is because of what Joseph says, right? Why did he name his son Ephraim? Because God has made me fruitful in this land. So we're like, well, what's the root of fruit? Peresh yod. And ech etencha. Is this a yiktol?
Mm-hmm.
Aleph,
Yep.
Aleph yiktol.
Yeah.
I will, right?
I give.
And
will give.
right, and then the cha is you. So we've got
You.
a strong dagesh
Noon.
alluding to a missing noon. This is the root natan. I give you. I will give you. How will I give you up, Ephraim? Amagencha. And Magen. See, I want to say this is okay. Let's just start. Who cares what I want? We have a dagesh here. What root? What binyan is this? If there's a dagesh there,
Yeah.
probably PL. And especially
Chipel.
since we have a reduced vowel patach
Yeah.
dagesh, it's probably PL. And so it
Okay.
looks like the root is mem gimel nun. Of course, my mind goes straight to the word magen. What is a magen?
It's a shield, so I'm
Shield?
thinking that means
What
like to
what
shield.
is the root of the word magen?
Mem Gimel Nun. So it's
Is it?
defend.
Is it? What's the root?
Mag
Mem Gimel Noon.
Okay. I was under the impression that the mem at the front turned it into a noun. Has anyone ever heard of Haganah?
yeah.
What's
Defense.
Haganah?
Defense.
I think this is how it's spelled. And if so, then that means the root would be Gimel Nun Nun. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Magen. Oh, Magencha. Yeah. Magen.
So I'm wondering if the mem is the like a prefix for trying to think of like like a no mish mashkin. I'm wondering if it's a mem that turns it into a noun. So if the root is gimel nun nun and hagana is the he feel um shemapol. What's that? The noun representing the action. So it's a shemapol is the Hebrew word for the he feel binyan of this. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The point is it's a noun that comes from he feel, but the root is gimel nun nun. It tells you that
what is
mem
the dagesh? What is in the dagesh?
apparently the root is gimel nun nun.
Ganan.
Missing noon.
Oh, does anybody know? Oh, has anyone ever heard of a ganenet?
Yeah.
Who is a ganenet?
Somebody like takes care of little children. I was a ganenet once.
Mhm. A
Yeah,
ganenet. And
A
in the garden.
caregiver?
what I
In the
wonder
garden.
is if it's related to the word gan, because when you put it in the plural, ganim, isn't there a dagesh? Ganim? I don't know. Well, I'll have to check that. Maybe I'm way off kilter here. And
Sounds like Yeladim.
but the thing that originally caught me though is that I'm thinking of the word magen, but if the word magen actually comes from gimel nun nun, then that means it's not the same root. So anyway, what I'm trying to do is show you guys options. If we wanted to, we could just go over to the Bible app and click on the word amagen and see what they, this is cheating, right? Deliver up, to give, to deliver, denominated from magen, a shield. So the idea is that they took the word magen and then turned it into a verb,
Yeah.
which happens in Hebrew. It happens all the time. So, while we're here, originally from, yes, Gimel Nun Nun.
Oh, you're right.
Yay. All right.
Yay!
So a primitive root meaning to hedge about or protect. And okay, cool.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I know that nouns are derived from verbs. Does it go the opposite direction too, that verbs are derived from nouns?
In modern Hebrew, yes. In biblical Hebrew, I'll at least say not as much, but I can't really think of any examples. There are tons of, well, can anybody think of an example of a verb denominated from a noun in biblical Hebrew? I don't know. That's you put me on the spot. I don't have a good answer. Um, Definitely in modern Hebrew, maybe not as much in biblical Hebrew. That would be a good question for maybe ChatGPT ask it. See if it can give us some examples. All right, where did we leave off? So Amagencha Yisrael, like I will shield you. It says deliver, but whatever. Ech etencha ke'adma. So what is adma here?
Place.
The place, the proper noun.
The place.
How do we know that?
The proper
Well,
noun.
because here's another one over here. Tzvoyim or tzvoim, I guess. No, tzvo. Yeah, it is tzvoyim. Tzvoyim. So this is the word that shows up in the story of Lot, isn't it? Zavoyim,
Sodom.
something like that. Yeah, it was one of the 5 cities. There was Sodom, there was Gomorrah, there was Zavoyim, and there was 2 others. And so the point is, it's what, demolished, gone. So how shall I make you like this or like that?
Mm.
Nepach. What's the root of nepach?
Hapach.
Exactly.
Hafach.
It's right there. Hafach is the root. And what's the noon segol doing out front?
It's
Nifal.
Nifal.
Good. And why do we have a segol instead of a chirik there?
Guttural.
Guttural hay.
The guttural hay.
So instead of ni pach, it's nehpach, and that way that eh sound is our cue that we have a guttural there, since we can't hear the sound of the letter hey. Nehpach. Also, you get a strong, weak dagesh because the consonant is closing the syllable. So this is technically what? Silent schwa? Neh, pach. Anyway, so it means to be flipped or turned. Alai libi. Alai libi. Neh. Okay, so what's the subject here? Nehpach alai libi. We can see this is the beginning of a new clause, and this is the end of it because of the etnach and the katon, right? And whenever you see that, that's the end of a phrase, and whenever you see that, it's the end of a phrase. So that means this is all one phrase. Nepach alai libi. What's the subject?
Heart.
My heart.
So this is our subject. Our verb is nepach, because we just said it's
Nepach.
nifal, 3ms, and that agrees with my heart. Alai. My heart is turned alai, upon me. I wonder if this is this like is this like rolling over in one's grave? I mean, is this an expression? You know, my heart is flipping over within me, or so, or upon me, or something like that. I don't know. Yachad, together, nichmeru. Kemer. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of kemer as having a different meaning. Anyway, it's a nifal, 3 CP of the root kaf mem resh, and translation is there. They are, yeah, it should be they are. They together are kindled. I don't know. Let's look that one up too. Nihumai. Nihumai. What's the root of nihumai?
Nacham.
Naham. Does anybody know a book of the Bible that's related to this root?
Nehemiah.
Okay.
Nehemiah.
Ma'am.
Very good. So Nehemiah and also Nahum.
Nahum.
Nahum. So I guess that would be.
So that's, I think of comfort more than kindled.
Right. Well, yeah, but Nahum has to do with relenting, repenting, comfort. I'm asking about this one over here,
Yeah, that's,
Nichmeru. So let's go look at that one and see if we can get a little bit of clarity from the Bible app. And Nichmeru. Here it says compassion. No. Okay. No. So the Nihumai, those are my compassions. And then it still translates it as kindled. They are kindled. So let's look over at the dictionary. Shows a whopping 4 times in the Bible. Okay, so it says here in Lamentations, black, in Hosea, kindled, Genesis, yearned, and then in First Kings, you can't see it, it's off the screen. It's also yearn. So I mean, to grow warm, tender, grow hot. Yeah. But again, it only shows up 4 times in the Bible, so we don't have a whole lot of context to figure out exactly what it means. We could always go to another sister Semitic language to see if we can get a better understanding of the meaning.
And I guess we were right. It was an Ephah.
Yeah, it is a Nephal. Very good. And all right. Oh, should there have been a dagesh in this chet? Granted, it's a guttural. It won't take a dagesh. But my question is,
No.
should it have had a dagesh? Can you think of other words that have this same pattern? What about dibur?
Dibur.
Or shimur? Shimur. So the point is that when you have the eu pattern, that is another example of, like I said earlier, in Hebrew, it's called a shem hapoal. Shem hapoal. I'll just spell it like that. It's the noun of the verb, the noun form of the verb. And this particular pattern belongs to PL. So if you want to find the noun form of a verb that belongs to PL, it will have the EU pattern. So does anybody know what the PL version, Yenachem, what it means?
He will comfort.
He will comfort. or yeah, he will like actively comfort somebody. So then the action of nihum is shem, it's the noun, hapoal of the verb of comforting. So this is a noun representing the action of comforting, and it is being done by me. Nihumai, all of my comfortings. Questions, comments? All right, who would like to read next? Eileen, you want to read? Go ahead.
Yep. Lo is she,
Essay.
ejese, Haron, Pari,
Api.
Api, Lo, Ash, Uv,
Lo ashuv.
Ashuv, Le, Sha, He, Le, Ashe, Ephraim, Ki,
Ephraim.
Ephraim, Ki, El, no, Anuhi, Velo, Esh,
Ish.
Ish, Ish, Bekor, Bek,
Bekir becha.
Bergi, Barha, Kodesh,
Kadosh.
Kodesh, no, Kadosh, Kadosh, Velo, Bo, Beir,
Beir. Right.
Beir.
I was just noticing since we were talking about the A-O pattern, there's that avo. It is a yiktol, but it's because of the aleph that we get the O vowel. And here's another one, kadosh. What kind of word is kadosh? Look at what part of speech is kadosh.
Call.
It's a okay, so it might be a bit of a trick question here. It's the standard answer would be that it's an adjective. The extended answer is that it could have been an adjective derived from an infinitive absolute, a kal infinitive absolute, because a-o is also an infinitive absolute, isn't it? Like
Yep.
shamor, the zahor. And so there's a little bit of I don't have the like the diachronic history or etymology on how the two formed, whether they're related or not. But just based on this pattern, it's possible that we had a kal infinitive absolute that became an adjective, kadosh, or it could have had a completely different pattern and been unrelated. We don't know. So is this the same? Is it derived from it, or is it not? Not sure. Anyway, so it's not a yiktol. That's the point. Lo esse, that is a yiktol. 1, 2, missing yod, 3. I will do. I will not do. Haron api. Are these two nouns in construct with each other? Is haron in construct with api, smichut?
Mm, mm,
Look at that.
yes.
Yeah. So the noun should have been charon, but because it's in construct, this is going to drop to a shva. Oh, it's a guttural. Let's make it a chataf vowel instead. Charon api. So the fierceness of my nose or my anger. Lo ashuv. This is also a yiktol from the root shuv. We already mentioned it. Lo ashuv leshachet. What kind of a word is this? Form? Binyan?
Yeah.
Infinitive.
Infinitive
Infinitive.
construct.
Construct.
Infinitive
Yeah.
construct.
El. Very good. And
PL.
so the le at the front tells us that it's an it helps tell us that it's an infinitive. It's supposed to be an I. Use your imagination. The fact that we have a shva patach dagesh. Wait. Oh, there's no dagesh.
There's no dagesh.
Guttural, of course, there won't be. So that means the root is.
Shachat.
Hot.
Here we get to see an example of a root with an actual tav, as opposed to an infinitive construct that has an artificial tav. Would anyone like to suggest another infinitive construct that has a tav at the end, but it's actually not a root letter?
Mm,
I guess it does. And to be a PL infinitive construct, let's see. How about lenakot? To be clean or pure. Lenakot. What's the root of len?
Tahat.
Okay.
Okay, so tahat is a participle meaning under. So it's not a verb. Wait, who said a suggestion? What was it?
Tahat.
Right, and then someone said something afterward. Tahat is a preposition. Someone said something afterward. I missed it. Sorry.
I just said the root of Nake is Nake,
Oh,
I think.
okay. How about livalot? Livalot. That's going to have a dagesh. Okay, so both of these are PL infinitive, infinitive constructs, but their root has a missing yod.
Mhm.
It should be bet lamed yod and nun kuf yod, but the yod is weak and goes missing. Do you all remember? Oh, how about this one? So this is a kal verb, not pl, essay, but it too has a weak third root letter yod. What's the infinitive construct for essay?
La'asot.
Very good. La a sot. So it still has that ot ending on the end. It's just that, oh, that looks more like a tzadi than an ayin. My apologies. La'a. Ugh, now you're just making it worse. La'a. So there we go. But instead of shva, it has something else. La'a. So that's how we know it's a kal instead of a pl. But the point is, every time that you have a third root letter yod, the infinitive construct ends with an ot. Ooh, does the infinitive absolute end in ot?
No.
No. What would be the infinitive absolute of essay or asa?
Asot.
So
Yes, it would. It would be ah so, and it'll put a hey on the end, but that's a mater letter. It's not the root. Maybe it should have been originally asoy or something like that, but the yod was hard to pronounce, so it just became aso. Aso. Okay. Ephraim, lishachet means to bring to ruin or something like that, or bring to waste. Ephraim, so we're just going to call it destroy. There's like 10 words in Hebrew for destroy, right? To destroy Ephraim. Ki el anochi. Why is there? What am I supposed to do with this little mark under the aleph? The meteg.
They want a bit of
emphasis.
an
Secondary.
emphasis, and it's not a Kamatzkatan.
Oh,
Okay, so I used to be a big fan of hey, if there's a meteg, it means that it's not a kamatz katan. Until I found an example in the Bible where there was a meteg on a kamatz katan. It does not happen often, but
Mm,
the meteg simply means pause on this just a little longer than you otherwise would.
mm,
And so here it's marking secondary stress. Anochi, anochi. And also, we wouldn't confuse this for kamatz katan because it's in an open syllable.
mhm.
So it's secondary stress, that's all. If you look up I've mentioned this before, if you look up in a grammar, what is the purpose of a meteg? The grammars will say, here are 5 things that the meteg does. I'm like, what? Why would they use the same symbol for 5 different things? They didn't. The meteg simply means pause on this a little longer. Now, why are we pausing on it? Sure, we can have 5 reasons for that. But this is the full form of ani. This is the more original form of ani. It's anochi. Velo ish. God am I and not man. Why they put the word in right here, I may never know. Bekilbecha, in your midst. Your kilb. What's the absolute form of this word kilb? If you look it up in a dictionary, what would it be?
Cherub.
Yeah, very good. Kerub. But you guys know
Kid.
you guys know how much I
The
like
seagull,
segolets.
right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you guys know how much I love segolets and how the seagulls are artificial and how the original form was kilb or kilbu. But anyway, that's beyond the point. The kilbecha, in your midst, kadosh, holy, or if it's used substantively, the Holy One. And you can see that's what the translator decided to put here. Velo avo, and I will not come, enter, arrive. Be'ir.
Ear.
Now, doesn't this look an awful lot like in a city?
But it's not.
Yes.
So what are we looking at here? What's the root?
Ba'ar, bet ein resh.
Bet ein resh.
Oh.
So I guess bo'er or ba'er.
Mhm.
I think ba'er is a state of being verb having to do with like being on
Burning.
fire or burn. Yeah, burning, exactly.
Mhm.
So then if I turn it into a PL, it becomes BR. Now what does it mean?
In the
Right?
city.
To make
To
something be
incite.
burning. No, to make something burn. It's to kindle,
Oh,
right? So if
Oh.
ba'er is
right.
burning, then
Yeah.
that means BR means you make it burn, you kindle it. So I think it was this verb when the Bible gives the commandment, you shall not kindle a fire on the Sabbath.
Mhm.
Well, that's the
Ear.
PL version, of this root. So here we're looking at what appears to be a keel pattern. Keel. Nobody knows, or I don't know what the original vowel was under the kuf, but it dropped to a shva in Hebrew. Keel. Okay. But it comes from ba'er, burning, wrath, anger. Voldani, you have your hand up. Go ahead. Turn on. Okay.
No, I just had it out for the next reading.
Okay, fantastic. Let's do that. Next reading, all yours.
Okay. Uh, Kare, Hashem, Ye Leku, K-R, Ray, Yeesh, Og, Ki, Hu, Yeesh, Og, Ye, Ye, Care, Do, Va, Nim, Me, Yum,
Miyam, very good.
Miyam.
Exactly. אחרי אדוני ילכו כאריה ישאג. אחרי Adonai. I'm trying to remember, is Tuesday here or not? No, she's not. Does anybody by chance remember the name of that cantillation mark? Is it Deal or something like that?
This Tidira,
Is it? All right.
Tidira.
Is it is it a
Give.
disjuncting?
Conjunction.
I- It's an accent mark.
Keynes, what do they call conjunctive, I guess.
Well, conjuncting means it hooks up to the next word, and I didn't think that it did. Anyway, I'm just looking at at the syntax of the verse. It looks like it should be more disjuncting than conjuncting. But anyway, it looks like Acharei Adonai Yelichu. After the Lord is how we're doing it. So that's your prepositional phrase. What are they doing? They are walking. Where are they doing it? Acharei Adonai. So after the Lord, Yelichu, they shall walk. Ke'aryeh Yishag, like a lion. Who's the subject of Yishag?
Did you ask a question?
Who is the subject of Yishag?
The Lord.
Right. So this is 3ms, and that is not 3ms. This is. So it is the Lord who is Yishag, who is roaring. He who Yishag, because he's, or when, or because, I guess when sounds a little better. When he will be roaring, when he shall roar. The Yecherdu, what's the root?
Harad.
Rad.
Like the Haredim, the Haredi Jews.
Oh,
Trembling,
sure.
right? The trembling ones, the ones who serve God out of fear. The Yecheredu, they shall tremble. Who will? Vanim, the children. Where? Mi Yam. Literally, it means from the sea. But Yam is also used several times in the Bible to allude to the cardinal direction west. So you can see that they've translated it west, but it's literally from the sea. And so who are they who are walking? My people, I guess, because like earlier it was talking about they will call, right? Yikre'ehu. So here we have yelechu, they shall walk. So maybe it's the same root. Questions on this one before we read the next one? All right, I do have to go soon, so this will be the last verse. Who wants to read? So
Can I read?
Yeah, go ahead.
יחרדו כציפור ממצרים, וכיונה מארץ אשור, והושבתים על בתיהם נאום אדוני.
Very, very good. Yecherdu chetzipor mimitzrayim. So I guess all the birds in Egypt, they're always trembling. All right, what's the parallelism here? We have tzipor and Yonah, both birds. Mitzrayim and Eretz Ashur, both foreign lands or possibly enemy lands. And then the verb is supplied once, but applies to both of them. So what is that called? The verb is supplied once, but it's implied both here and here. They shall tremble as a bird from Egypt. They shall tremble as a dove from the land of Assyria. Ellipsis. Ellipsis. It's a fancy $3 word you can use around your friends as a bar trick or something. I don't know. And Vihoshavtim, help me break down this verse.
Ve is a conjunction.
Is it a conjunction?
No, it's not. It's a vegetal.
It
No,
could be a
they-
conjunction, but in context, we have they will do something. So
is
maybe this is
vegetal.
vegetal. Yeah, so
Yeah.
vegetal.
Hoshavti is
Start at the end.
that mem is that's an object. The mem.
Very good. You didn't say, well, you said im, but you meant mem is a suffix.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 3mp suffix. So what's the t?
That's the ending for I will place or I will return them.
Katal wants the yes. I'm the subject. Good. So now that we have that, now we're left with Hosh. Is it Hoshav or it's Hoshiv?
Lehashiv, it's Hoshiv.
Good. So without the T on the end, it would be Hoshiv, and then we would see the Hey and the Hirik Yod. But I'm sorry, we only get to see the Hey here, and that Hey is what tells us that we're looking at a Hifil.
Mm-hmm.
So causing what? 1, 2, 3. There's your original root, and Vav turns into Yod when it comes first, so the root is Yashav, to sit.
Mm-hmm.
I will cause to sit or cause to dwell them. I will cause them to dwell al batehim, around, in, on their houses, Ne'um Adonai, declaration of the Lord.
There's the Lord.
All right, I would have loved to go a lot further, but my apologies. I've got to go. Thank you all so much for coming. I'll look forward to seeing you again next week, and after the American holiday of Thanksgiving is over. Yeah, first week of December. All right, see you all then. Lihitrot v'shalom.
Thank you.
Lehitrot leshalom.
Thank you.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Toda.
Shalom.
Okay.